Going to jump right in with these amazing garden transformations. Thank you guys so much for sending in these wonderful photos. These are from Linda, and they are in Hamilton, Ontario, Zone 7B. And you can see the snow on the first photo in the front garden. And jump right to this second photo. And look what they did with this space. They changed the color of the siding from a really dark color to a much lighter color, which I think really helped to brighten up the front of the house. And then put in this amazing garden space. They have interesting sidewalks and using different materials in there. I love the containers that they've used. Even the planter boxes along the front of the house are really, really nice. Complete and total transformation from what we saw at the beginning. But again, I think also lightening up the front of the house made a huge impact here from what was a really, really dark kind of siding. And now they have this kind of bright and airy space. So thank you very much, Linda, for sending these in from Hamilton, Ontario. Next up, we have an amazing transformation from Vadim. He is in Brantford, Southern Ontario, so we've had two of those in a row here. He says he's been watching the channel for a while, but he has been landscaping for over 40 years and been working on this transformation for about 16. And he dug out this waterfall in the back garden and has planted over 25 trees. About a third of them are evergreen things so that the birds have cover in the wintertime, and there's winter interest in the garden, and there's tons of ferns and hostas and shrubs and all kinds of flowering things. It's just an amazing, just an incredible garden all around, with pieces of art. The tapestry of colors is absolutely fantastic in this garden, as you can see throughout all of these photos. Just a truly amazing work of art here over the course of 16 years. And again, you can see this mixture of things that are going to go to sleep in the winter, but evergreen things that allow for winter interest as well. Just an incredible transformation you've done here, Vadim. Thank you so much for sending these in. I'm going to jump into the video real quick and thank everybody for participating in these before and after photo videos. You can send photos to this email address right here, horttube@gmail.com, with the before and after photos. I have probably 150 more emails that you guys have sent. And again, thank you so much for participating. I'll continue to show off your photos for months to come. Next up, we have photos from Justin. He's over in Denver, North Carolina. I'm assuming this is Zone 7 for sure. They have a big blank slate, as you can see in this first photo. They built the house, did a lot of the work themselves back in 2015, and they've been landscaping it ever since. He has a YouTube channel for the zoysia lawn called Zoysia R Us. If you guys want to follow him, that's one word, Zoysia R Us. You can search for on YouTube. You can see they jump right in and start to add some plants around the foundation. Also did some drainage work out by the road, it looks like, and lots of work, bed creation out here all over the yard. And then this is a really nice planted space here with this liriope and other really interesting color palette they have going on. I love the bench addition there. The drainage box, looks great in the corner there. Everything's neat and orderly. Here you can see the foundation planted, the shrubs really starting to take off. And there's the rest of the front foundation. You can see zoysia grass out here looking fantastic. So maybe he's got some tips for you there if you've got a zoysia lawn. And then there it is from a distance. We saw that first photo where it was just just the house sitting back there. So it's quite a transformation that they have done since 2015. Thank you so much, Justin, for sending these in. Next up, we have photos sent from Monica, and I hope I'm not butchering the name, from Linden, Washington, Zone 8A. And they bought this house. It has this little retaining wall across the bottom. You can see some steps there. But they really got in here and dug out another section behind it there, but behind that first lower wall, and put in this retaining wall, which gave them some additional planting space. You can see that fence is gone in there in the back, and it's just a really a pretty big transformation. So they've been watching the channel for a long time, so I definitely appreciate that. And they sent as part of this a small video of it now. You can see all the interesting pollinator plants, uses of different colors, but that 2 layers they created plus the fence in the background really transformed this space. So thank you very much for sending these in. This one is a really big transformation. This is over in Hickory, North Carolina, Zone 7B. I'm not going to attempt their name. I don't want to butcher anyone's name in the video today, but they started, as you can see out here, there's some red mulched space in the back garden, and they came eventually back in here and put a retaining wall there that we'll see in a minute. Then added a planting area out in front of it. There's the plants all laid out and ready to go in the ground. A piece of statuary there in the middle of it, a bird bath. See the 2 benches after everything's planted in that space, and you can see that retaining wall now up in the back photos here. Here's another angle in the back garden space, and look how full this back corner is now. Lots of interesting things, but here's a better view of the back border bed with the retaining wall in and lots of colorful plants. I'm sure they're filling in very quickly. And there's a backed up view. There's that center bed they had put in, and then that back garden piece. It looks absolutely fantastic. They got red heavy clay, of course, up in that Hickory area, but they've been able to work with it well. It's one of those things that clay is kind of hard to work with. It's not fun to work with, but you can get results like this because the plants do really the plants don't mind it as much as we do. Thank you so much for sending these in. For those who don't know, I have a video series over on my website, HortTube.com, called the Learn to Garden video series. There's a discount code down below this video if you're interested. It is a series of videos that I am working on to teach gardening from design, installation, and maintenance of your gardens. Spent about a year putting video content on it, and there's going to be a whole nother year of content going on it. Once you buy it, you own it. All additional pieces you'll own as well. Next up, we have a couple photos from Diane. She's in Vancouver Island, BC, Canada. So this is our 3rd Canadian, Zone 8A. She had a big rhododendron die, as you can see here in this first photo, and then went in and changed that area completely. There's some blue bog salvias and candelabra primroses in bloom in this photo, and you can see hosta as well. Just a rich, really rich tapestry of colors, and a big change from a you take a big plant that you've always loved and it dies, and you take a minute and spend some time and plan a new space and see it as an opportunity, rather than once you get over the sadness, it's an opportunity. Next up, we have a big pond installation from this. These are from Susan. I didn't say where they were, but you can see the beginning photo here, working on this pond installation. Lots and lots of work goes into digging a hole big enough for one of these liners. And then this boulder, they actually made themselves. It looks pretty real, pretty impressive. And here's the final view into this pond area. I love the natural stone that was used for the pathway over there, the combination of the containers, the flowering plants, the foliage color, the texture, everything. This one's just really, really fantastic, and it's got to be rewarding to have dug that big old hole to put that liner in, at the start of this and end up here. So thank you very much, Susan, for sending these in. Next up, we have a series of photos from Lou. These are from Zone 6 in Connecticut, and he said that this is probably not the type of photos I have in mind or whatever. But I love all types of landscaping for sure, from the most formal of landscapes to non-formal spaces, and things just plugged into woodlands and, you know, having things be wild, I'm drawn to all of it. So there is no right or wrong answer for your landscape project. So, you know, don't think that as you're thinking about whether you're sending in before and after photos. If it's the thing that made you happy, then it's probably something that would also be inspiring to someone else. So he's got a pretty wild space here, and jumps in, clears all that out, and then puts lots of groupings of plants in the style of Roy Deblick, and just sent me a list of a lot of the plants that are in here. There's rhododendrons and hollies and sunshine ligustrum and sky pencil hollies and all kinds of things in here, and then groupings of things, and that, again, that Roy Deblick style, where groupings of grasses and things like that. This is a great space to garden in, because this is a bank that's tough to landscape, tough to garden on, but it faces east, and so it gets lots and lots of morning sun, and then it has filtered afternoon sun, and so you can grow almost anything in those types of conditions. It's pretty much enough sun for your full sun things, and enough shade for your shade things to not get cooked. So he's got lots of little whimsical things out here in the garden, and then lots and lots of interesting. You'll see something flowering in this type of space all the time. So thank you very much, Lou. Love this type of project. Next up, we have photos sent in from Kayla up in Riverdale Park, Maryland, Zone 7B. A pretty open back garden space with a garage in the back of it. She said her husband gets nervous every time he hears her watching one of my videos, because something else is going to get bought for the garden. They took out a sidewalk. You can see the garage view here, and then put in this patio, which looks fantastic, and then the path coming off of that to the left, going around the other side of the house. Plantings up against this, the new fencing, really looks terrific, and you can see hammock back here in this space, and patio furniture really looks great. Plantings, again, right up against the base of the fence as well. So thank you so much for sending these in. This is quite a transformation here in your back garden. Next up, we have some photos from Joanna. These are in Hillsborough, North Carolina, which is just a little west of where I live in Raleigh. And you can see this, as she called it, a boxwood monoculture, which is exactly what this is, just boxwoods planted all the way across the front of the house, and set in to get those boxwoods out. Here's a section in the back garden beforehand. And then you can see the plantings around the screen porch in the back just look absolutely amazing. Here's a little spot by the front porch here, I think, that gets completely transformed into this amazing pollinator garden. Really quite beautiful. Another space in between where the house and that garage are, been completely transformed. Neat little gate, and love that kind of disjointed path going through there. And then here's a close-up of some of the pollinator plants that have been added. So really turn this, from, again, a monoculture into a very, very interesting pollinator garden and beautiful, beautiful space. So thank you so much, Joanna, for sending these in. Next up, we have a couple photos from Jennifer up in Virginia, Zone 6B. And she starts by putting these raised beds in along this fence, and then jumps in and puts sunflowers and looks like marigolds down there, or possibly zinnias. I'm staring at this. Is a tiny little photo to me as I'm editing this, but turn this into a fantastic pollinator garden. So you can sit here, right off of these steps where these photos are taken from, and enjoy the butterflies and the bees and everything out here working all of these flowers. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sending in these photos and following along with the channel as well. Last up, we've got a big one. This is only 2 photos, but it's definitely a grand transformation for sure. This is from June down in Alpharetta, Georgia. I spoke down in Alpharetta, Georgia at a garden center a few years ago. I need to get back down there at some point. It's a great great place up there in kind of North Atlanta. This big giant open space is quickly transformed in just 2.5 years into this. Look at this amazing, absolutely amazing pollinator garden. Really love this before and after. And it's just 2 photos, but what else would we need to see this incredible transformation that took place again in just 2.5 years. So thank you so much, June, for sending these in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Got a beautiful backdrop here for this video up in Boise, Idaho. Absolutely love this city, out doing some traveling now. And again, thank you guys so much for participating in these before and after videos. And here's the email address once again to send in photos. Thanks.